What is going on? Welcome back to Trending Stocks. Today we're going to talk to you about SoundHound. Give you a quick overview of the phenomenal day, what the data points are saying, what shorts did, and everything else you need to know. But first, make sure to hit that thumbs up. And with that, let's get right to it. SoundHound went up 31.33%, $13.74 a high. So, new 52-week high, $10.32 was a low for today. Absolute FOMO 4.0 with SoundHound. Immense amount of volume on a side note. So 183.29 million shares being traded. 44.15 is the average. You did have big money prior to today, even was starting to buy a SoundHound just for the value play that it is. But because of today's news, which I'll go over in a second, you had them buying left, right, and center. So anything that does show as a ask is a buy, and these are all the transactions on the secondary market above $100,000. So this is pretty much how it started. More than 250 transactions, and when I first started covering SoundHound, they were lucky to get maybe one a day. So this is exactly what investors need, right? They need this level of buying coming from large, big transactions and big money because it adds very strong support levels. Even after hours, 6.03 million, 19.8, 2.4, 1.4, even throughout the day, many transactions over 1 million, but the options as well, very record numbers. So I'm going to go over that in a second, but this was a news that really kickstarted it. And so like I said, prior to today, it was more seen as a value AI play, but because of this was concrete. And for those of you that have been following my SoundHound videos or even have it on Patreon, I did state that just based on the fundamental just discount, it should be around $11 with good news and such as this, it should be at $15. So even though it went up 30%, I still do feel that it is largely being suppressed, and so I'm going to go over that in a second. But Torchy's Taco, which has 130 locations, did debut SoundHound's voice AI phone ordering. So absolutely amazing stuff. This is just going to be one of many new kind of deals that does come down the pipeline. Of course, I think the ultimate podium would be McDonald's, but I think that's just been rumors as of late. But in reality, shorts, despite it going up 30-something%, and keep in mind the broader market went down a lot today, especially because of initial jobless claims not coming in line with expectations, and also on a couple other points, but shorts still did increase 103,000 shares net. I'll go over exactly what they did in a second, but 23.63% of the free float is being shorted, works out to be 77.53 million shares. So even though SoundHound went up 30%, they are still increasing, still trying to suppress it. And first thing though, this is what is very unique. And first thing right out the gate, because I think it was up like 7% or 5% pre-market, they were increasing 8.1 million shares. So obviously throughout the day, they obviously returned quite a lot. That's how it ended up with only net 103,000 shares. But imagine them really increasing, trying to suppress it first thing, increasing 8 million shares, it not really coming to fruition, and them getting royally screwed. This is just all setting up for a very, very good short squeeze. But I could be wrong. My crystal ball is sometimes wrong, so you do your own due diligence. But today there was 81 million in calls, 11 million in puts, so record number high for options for SoundHound. 51% of all the options being done were optimistic and bullish, and of the call options that were purchased, you see a consensus for it to be above $15, $16. So realistically, I think that is would come to fruition, especially with that recent news. It could easily be at like $15 plus, and especially with the market kind of pulling back, they're going to be looking at this type of stock as outperforming and largely has lagged the broader market, and that's not even encumbering a squeeze. So if big money does continue to buy, tomorrow we do have unemployment numbers and a couple other things as well, but I think the key is going to be unemployment. If positive, then yes, you could easily see that 14, 15, or you never know, 16 by next week. Just yeah, it's going to be a wild ride. Based on this, with it at 13.33, with it closing at that, looking at the classic, it is trading between this R3 and this R2. So 12.50 is going to be that strong support that you'll want to watch for it to hold going into the next couple of trading days. 17.06 is going to be that next strong target. So very wide gap, because of course SoundHound has gone up very fast in a short time span, but I think it is largely justified. And yeah, keep in mind as well, with it going up however much, I'll go over that in a second. So with it going up, let's say 167% over the last 6 months, shorts during that time frame maintained their position. So this is why I've been stating that, like, imagine if shorts were to be returning some shares over that same time period. You'd have this easily like the high teens, maybe even 20s possibly. It'd be, I don't know, it's crazy to think of. But quickly going over here though on the actual technicals, as I've stated even yesterday, there's nothing really negative to bring up about SoundHound's technicals. Like, I have the AMA super trend 50, 100, 200-day moving average. The only thing actually, I guess, in reality to say that is negative is the fact that it's overbought. But pretty much the majority of the market is overbought, and that's why it kind of got dragged down because of that data today. But in general, the technicals look absolutely amazing on the 1 year, 1 month, 1 week. Everything looks good. And so in reality, this is a fair assumption that this is going to continue to go higher. And for those of you that have been kind of watching my channel and joined on my Patreon, I've been saying that SoundHound is a buy since $5. And realistically, I still do feel it is a good buying opportunity right now. And I did have some comments that was DM'd to me just asking like, hey, do I buy the dip? Do I buy this rally? And my simple answer, which I'll say to you, if you like SoundHound and you do realistically think that it is going to have a pullback, then simply just sell a put. Because what you can do is you can always sell a put, and in case you don't know, if you sell a put for, let's say, just using this as an example, let's say you feel it's going to get down to 12, you can sell a $12 put. If it gets down to that price, then you get to buy it at that price. If it stays above that and continues to rally higher, then you get to keep the premium. You don't get to have the shares. So it's kind of the best of both worlds. So if you feel that there is going to be a pullback, sell a put. But in my opinion, I think just there's a lot of FOMO in the market, a lot of good positive momentum, and SoundHound, even like I said, leading into today, it was getting more and more attention from big money. So now you had this good piece of news, and if we have good data tomorrow, then this is going to fly high like a crazy man. So pop over to my Patreon. I do give a lot of other buy signals on stocks, options, and crypto. Many of them have been hitting home runs similar to SoundHound. So pop over there, link in the description below and also the comments. But give yourself a shout out if you did buy, if you sold, or did you dabble with options? What have you been doing with SoundHound? I myself have been selling a lot of puts because just in case it was going to dip, I've been selling $9, $8, even $7.50. That was prior to it kind of rallying over the last couple of days, but all of my options are going to expire worthless, meaning I get to keep the premiums. So I think tomorrow, with it being Friday, I might lock in some 13 and maybe 12.50 puts as well. So if you are one of those individuals that's dabbling with options, let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up and subscribe. I always greatly appreciate that. With all that, appreciate all of you watching.